There are some things that are too dangerous to talk about. Like, what year is it? Most people think it's the year 2022, but it's always now. And it's the computer that tells us what time it is, what day it is. We assume many things on this fake Earth. And the more you know, the worse it gets. You're looking at old footage of Stonehenge. It's all fake. It's like Disneyland. All of these old artifacts look fake and engineered. We can't even go to the moon. We got this new footage of Robot Biden and it's Westworld. So bad. People were talking about the outfit like it's Joseph Stalin. But pay attention to the movements. It's like Boston Robotics coming at you. It's so lifelike. It's freaky. When you look at it for what it is, a cyborg, you realize that there's something terrible going on. It's worse than you can possibly imagine. This reset that they're talking about, this is a planned extermination. They're going to reboot society back into the 1800s or something. Check out this control tower in New York. No windows. It's like the Matrix. It feels like the Matrix. There's something terribly wrong with the world as they spray us like bugs, as they poison the food and the air and the water. There's something terribly wrong with these elections. There's something terribly wrong with the curvature of the earth. Is the earth flat? Ladies and gentlemen. Is it round? It seems like if you question the narrative, automatically flat earth comes into play. Wherever you go, if you question the earth, it's automatically flat. What if it's square? What if we're in a giant cube? An Epcot Center? What if this is some kind of cruise ship just floating around out there? What if this is a copy of the original Earth? What if it's not the year 2022? Video guy is on vacation. Check out this old school photo, painting, we should say, from the 1700s. This is a well-known painting from the 1700s. UFOs. Like it just came out of Roswell. We got Ezekiel's wheel in scripture. When people read that, they automatically think UFO. Pay attention to the Nazca lines out there in Peru. There's like runways and all sorts of hieroglyphs for UFOs. UFOs are not like the 1940s. UFOs have been something people have been talking about for quite some time, and many people have seen them. Many people have had close encounters with things that are not from this world. You can call them demons. Ephesians chapter 6 tells us that we're not fighting against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness from heavenly places. That means ghosts from outer space. Whatever's going on, we're not alone. And we got the clones to prove it. Check out all these clones on television. It's Westworld. Everywhere you go. You've probably noticed the cyborgs in your area. That person didn't pass the Turing test. Something was wrong with that person. It seems like they're stalking you. You ever get that feeling that somebody's watching you? Oh. It's worse than the Truman Show. It's your worst nightmare. Right now, according to the intelligence, we suspect that there's only about 10% of the people on Earth that are actually human, and 90% are from somewhere else. There is much speculation as far as the diversity is concerned. Many people feel that the species, let's not say species, but the races of people that we see on planet Earth are actually people from different Earths. I know how that sounds. But there's just no telling how artificial this planet really is. There's a lot of suspicion when it comes to what's going on. Nobody's going to the moon. Supposedly we were there like 60 years ago, but nobody has managed to put a webcam on the moon. And it doesn't seem like anybody wants to go there. What's up with that? Oh, flat Earth. As soon as you question what's going on, flat Earth, boom, it hits you. Okay, maybe the Earth is flat. Maybe there's something else going on. Nope, it's flat, that's it. You know, and this is like as bad as the mainstream media. It is a collective force of trust the plan. It's like the bots in the comment section. The system seems to be fully automated, like we're in Westworld or something. And as soon as you question what's going on, boom, you're a target. That's the whole point of Facebook and ScrewTube and social media. Oh, tell us what you're thinking. Oh, very nice. And so, there's no telling why we're here exactly. We're probably like cattle grazing in the pasture, just waiting for the slaughterhouse. Probably harvesting organs or adrenochrome or loosh, or feeding off of negative energy like parasites. No ivermectin for you. No hydroxychloroquine, no anti-parasitic medication, because there are parasites in everyone, probably. Parasites that are crucial to this takeover. We also have confirmed reports of spacecraft, just like the spacecraft from the movie Oblivion. This upside down pyramid has appeared in numerous locations. Many of the stars have been reported to be artificial. The red stars. Have you seen red stars at your location? Let us know. Be sure to let us know in the comments if you see red stars at your location. But essentially we are surrounded by alien technology that is hiding behind the facade of 2022. And it's been this way for a very long time. All we can say is that it is not the year 2022. What happened and why is still a mystery, but the evidence is overwhelming. And so we have to take this into consideration, that we are in this type of paradigm that is like the Matrix, that is like Terminator, that is like Westworld, that is like Aliens for all intents and purposes. try negotiating with these types of aliens, like in the movie Aliens. Now, I know that's a big, hypothesis for people out there these days. I can tell. We poll the audience. But imagine for a second, and just imagine that there is an infinite universe out there, and where stars are formed, and planets are formed, and Scripture tells us that everything is there with purpose. Chances are there are many other creatures that happened before Adam and Eve. And there are monsters out there, like in the movie Aliens. They don't care about logic. They don't care about diplomacy. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about what's on television. They want to eat you. And so this is basically the world that we find ourselves in, this type of prison planet. And we're not alone. There are many questions as far as how did we get here? Why is this happening? And essentially, if we're not under the dominion of the Almighty, then we are automatically under the dominion of the dark side. Humanity is essentially turned into a type of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so there's no telling what can happen. If we were to maintain our current trajectory in terms of technology and politics, it won't be long before they're assimilating people into the collective. The fourth, fifth industrial revolution, the Borg. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. This is our future, according to Elon and many others. Get your brain chip today. You saw the monkeys. You saw the pigs. You saw what they did to them. And so, imagine a future like that. What do you need humans for after the assimilation? Well, fresh meat. We need new cyborgs, new implants, maybe new genes. Maybe it's, entertainment. Maybe it's a cover. That way, in case other aliens, if other aliens come by, they're like, oh, this is a primitive species from, 2022. Look, they're still using gasoline. There's no telling what we're actually dealing with. But it looks like the dynamics are a complete fusion of cybernetic, spiritual, and physical forces of evil. Skynets, alien AI, and the like. We're talking about demonic spirits. We're talking about dark energy. We're talking about things that move around like ghosts and quantum realities that are here but not here, that can change time, go back in time. We're dealing with physical evil from other parts of the universe. Perhaps clone armies, perhaps hybrids, perhaps things that were created by fallen angels, alien races that come from dark worlds and all they know is pure evil. Undoubtedly, we're dealing with things that we can't possibly understand. It's like when you look to the horizon. You can only see to the horizon. We can only look at what the future brings. We can't see beyond what we don't understand, but what should be clear to everyone out there is that it is not the year 2022. What's happening on planet Earth is some kind of cover story right now. And the situation is bad. Obviously, things are spinning out of control. Things are looking worse and worse in many regards. And many people feel the pressure of the extermination. There's no telling where this is going for sure, but it basically looks like they're going to wipe everybody out. And they're going to make it look like war or a flood, or they just may irradiate everyone on the surface and start over because people are asking too many questions. It always happens. Or maybe they'll just thin out the herd and then proceed with the assimilation and harvest what they came for and then start over. But obviously, this changes the dynamics. We're not just up against Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and the like. We're dealing with things that are beyond the paranormal. And that may sound like there's nothing we can do. But knowing is half the battle. Knowing what we're up against may change how we deal with the situation. If you're made aware that none of the technology that you see is really from the year 2022, it just looks like it's from the year 2022, this may give you a better sense of what the risks in the environment may be. And maybe not. I still think there's a lot of people out there that are victims of the fluoride, despite their best intentions. And so, there's really nothing that we can say that will change their outlook. But for the rest of us that want to try and see just how deep this rabbit hole goes, protect yourselves like you're in the zoo and you want to escape. You want to be free again. You remember what it was like to be free back in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s? Imagine you want to be free. You want to think what you want to think. You want to say what you want to say. You want to do what you want to do. You want to be left alone. You don't want to be a victim of what's going on. Well, then this fight is for you. And that's exactly what it is. It's a war because they're getting ready for something big. Could be extermination, could be assimilation, but they're prepping for the harvest. And so our role is to not make it easy for them and just let's see what happens. We've already come a long way as far as waking people up to many different possibilities. And everybody knows that there's something terribly wrong with the world. The question is, what is it? For the most part, we basically have to focus on simpler ideas to get people baby stepping in the right direction. But for those with advanced knowledge, right now your mission is to set up a bunker, make it future-proof, EMF-proof, particle weapon-proof, alien-proof, do the best that you can. We're basically in the zoo. We've got nothing but, you know, sticks and matches to play with compared to what's out there. It's truly the rebellion. The rebellion against whatever alien cybernetic force is out there that has hijacked humanity on behalf of the dark side. Whatever this is, it's bad news. And so, whatever we're up against, it's definitely alien in nature, cybernetic in nature, demonic in nature. The demonic, cybernetic, alien force of the dark side. So, if you're going to really be part of the human resistance, a 22 isn't going to do it. You need an alien-proof bunker, EMF-proof technology that includes every material known to man, basically. You want to get everything that you can, metal, copper, inductors, resistors, capacitors, everything. And you may even want to find out how they took out the UFOs over Roswell back in the 1930s. Or 40s, we should say. And they were using scalar weapons, particle beam weapons, energy weapons, supposedly, in some timeline. We're not sure if it's the original timeline, if it really happened, but the story was that Roswell was the first nuclear base. Of course, you say nuclear these days, it's like saying virus. You know, trust the plan. But Roswell was the first nuclear base after the war, and UFOs supposedly showed up there. And there's tons of stories of, you know, UFOs and aliens showing up and ICBM sites, etc., etc. But supposedly they showed up over there and we shot some down with some scalar weapons and probably triggered some kind of war. And then the aliens came and just basically took over and enslaved us and now are going to exterminate us. It's hard to say, but it's a very likely scenario, as are many others. So I don't want to hear in the comments, it's this way, it's that way. It could be a lot of things, but it's something like that. And, you know, they could do that like basically 100 years ago. You don't think we can put that together now? You know, people are being hit with energy weapons. It's, you know, 22 isn't going to do shit. You need yourself, you know, some kind of Ghostbuster kind of tech, if you know what I mean. And look, I think a lot of people could probably put things together and test it out safely behind shielding and with a meter and, you know, trying to understand the physics and the electronics and the like. But you get yourself a tuner and amplifier. Instead of hooking it up to a speaker like a home stereo, you hook it up to an antenna. Duh. And you output, you know, 1,000 watts, 5,000 watts. You know, you got people with like crazy, you know, stereo systems. 5,000 watt amp. And you can hook that up to the car. You can get the amp and then the whole works. You know, go to Best Buy, and you know, you basically get yourself an antenna, maybe some, you know, 100 feet of cord, and you set up a nice little station somewhere, and you broadcast your pirate radio. You find Skynet, you find the Hive in your area, and, you know, prepare for that. Skynet is coming. EMPs, whatever you can. Spark gap, make a major spark gap kind of radio contraption. You know, I don't know if these are strange ideas, but I'm thinking like a Ryder truck with a huge spark gap. Kind of transmitter, and then you just juice that sucker. I wonder what that would do. Time will tell. But people should learn how to build drones and think about, the deliveries of the future. Because there's a war coming, and it's a war that people don't fully understand, and it's a war that's not in the news, and it's a war that can't really be seen with the naked eye. JFK was talking about it before they took that guy out. And so, learn to build. Make yourself a bunker. Prepare for the wars of the future with Skynet, cyborgs, aliens, and the like. 22 is not going to do it. But never forget that if we stay on the straight and narrow path, we're going to get support. And so, one of the big problems right now with what's going on in the world is that people have lost their way. They're not doing it right. And that's going to keep you back. That's going to be the biggest obstacle in your way. The only way that we're going to get out of this judgment and condemnation is by being priestly warriors. We got to do it the way it's done in Scripture. We got to go Old Testament. We got to think of the Transfiguration. We got to think of Moses. We got to think of, fighting the forces of evil in a holy war and for the glory of the kingdom of heaven. That's what it's all about. And if you want to know more on that, sign up to Jedi Training. That's where the action's at patreon.com/STF News. If you're not supporting the resistance, then it's going to be real tough for us to deliver cutting edge technology. It's coming. We're going to have all sorts of goodies coming online in the next 12 months or so, if we can survive in the trenches. So support our R&D, learn about Jedi training, being a priestly warrior in the world of today at patreon.com/STF News. And we'll be back with more. Be sure to check out the last broadcast on the flux capacitor. Very interesting shielding strategy in EMF warfare. Until the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.